Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Calling All Devs, the new weekly Q&A series where I take questions from you, the Star Citizen backer, call up our fellow developers, and pose them directly to them over Skype. It's short, it's sweet, it's moderately to the point. I do the best I can. I'm still me. Let's just get right to it, shall we? All right, so for our first call of the day, we are calling somebody I don't get to call quite often enough, quite honestly, Rob Reiniger out of our Austin, Texas studio. Let's see if he picks up. Rob.
Hey, what's up, Jared?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Good. I want to say I'm still not entirely used to you without the long hair. I know it's been a long time since you cut it now, but
It's been a bit, yeah.
It has been a bit. All right. I'm still getting used to not having the big thing here. All right. So this is your first time in Calling All Devs. Welcome. We take questions from the backers. They submit their own questions. They vote on their own questions, and we try to answer the most voted upon questions each and every week. Your question, a question that we have this week that I think you're perfect for, it says, what is the status of buying ship weapons with Alpha UEC?
Yeah, so we tried really hard to get them into 3.0. We basically spent about 3 days. The ship weapons are unfortunately part of our old 1.0 item system, and they had a level of inheritance that none of the other 1.0 items had, which was causing a lot of interaction problems in the shop. So it was unfortunately a stretch goal, and we had to get a bunch of other stuff done for 3.0 first. So it was basically the last 3 days of right before we went out of me trying to just jam it in at the last second. We were close, but it just required too much programmer support. So basically what's going on now is that we've got all of our ship items or ship weapons being converted to the 2.0 system by our UK and LA ship teams. And so once that happens, we'll be able to not only put them in the shop physically, but also we're going to get the kiosk working as well, which is not just going to be ship item related. That's going to be accessible for all shops at that point. So shops could potentially have additional items in them, that maybe couldn't be displayed. It's what we wanted to get in last year, but just didn't have time.
Gotcha. Sounds kind of like a mail order catalog. There's the stuff that we have in the shop, and then you can order from our special orders catalog and have it delivered to the store. All right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally.
All right. And so, are we? I'm sorry if I missed this. There, are we still targeting for 3.1 or?
So the conversion for item 2.0 ship weapons is towards the end of March, so it's more than likely going to be a 3.2 thing. Okay. I haven't seen that on the schedule, but I believe that's where it's going to be.
Yeah.
That's what we're shooting for.
Yes, that is what we're shooting
Don't
for.
quote me on that.
Nope. No. That's fine. That is our target. But of course, with our new date-based release system, of course, we are not going to hold the release for this. So it does have the possibility of slipping to something like 3.3. But we are currently shooting for 3.2. That is correct.
Yeah.
So all right, Rob, thank you so much for your time.
No problem. Yeah, thanks for calling.
Also, I can see myself in the reflection on the whiteboard.
You know how many people actually say that?
I can watch it. I was like going to try to do. All right. Sorry. I'll let you go.
It's all right. All right. Take care, man. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Cheers, bud.
All right. Thanks so much, Rob Reiniger. Now, for our next question, we are calling Matt Sherman here in our Los Angeles studio. I got a question about turrets. Matt, how you doing, man?
Hey, Jared. What's up?
Not much. Another week, another question about turrets, man. Okay. This question says, what is the status of us being able to either slave turrets to pilot control, use AI components to operate them, or hire NPCs to man them? Basically, I think they want to know, when are we not going to have other players in our turrets, one way or the other?
So an exact timeline, that's something that we can't really give right now, because all things with iteration. The biggest roadblock actually with any of that is getting the actual man turret gameplay into a really good spot first. So we've put these cool turrets on a number of our ships. We've got a lot of gameplay plans for making multi-crew matter, even if it is just like a hired NPC, even compared to anything like a slaving rig or an AI blade. So it's getting that man turret gameplay where it needs to be first, and then start giving the other options to be like, hey, you don't have to have all your friends online all the time, so here are these other options that you can triage things down with. But it's making sure that the core experience is fun before we start adding those in, because otherwise it'd probably just short circuit that whole experience.
Yeah, and of course, we want as many people in the turrets as possible now. That's how we're going to get the feedback we need. That's how we're going to get the metrics we need and stuff like that. So
exactly,
to automate them right now, this very moment, would actually undercut our efforts in making them and a turret gameplay better.
Exactly. Yep.
Well, thank you.
Sure thing. Yep.
What else are you working on? You doing anything cool?
Yeah. Actually, give me 1 second. I'll give you a quick look. See.
The reason I'm asking is because Snowpocalypse has hit our UK studio, and like half the people I need to call for this show aren't available now because they're trying.
We hit a dread California winter. I mean, it's hit the whole like mid to high 40s a couple evenings this week. That's just the weather machine's broken.
That's a frozen tundra here for SoCal. So what are you working on? Give me some. Oh, you got. Oh, that was not what I was expecting.
Yeah.
Can I just say, I've said this before, but I hated the Terrapin at concept stage. It's okay. Let's just. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I did not like the concept. It just did not resonate with me. But seeing it in 3D and in engine, man.
Oh yeah, it looks fantastic. Dan Kamensky has done a ton of work on this ship, so as you can tell, there's still a few glitches that we're working out.
Go inside it.
All right.
We just did a feature on the Terrapin on ShipShape today, but we didn't get to see a whole lot of the inside.
Yeah. So this is really cool. I've only recently jumped onto this ship. Calyx has done the bulk of the heavy lifting with like the design and plotting stuff out for this ship. Mm-hmm. I'm just coming in to do some like help and clean up, just getting seats and stuff set up. But probably the coolest thing, even when he was getting me up to speed on it, is just the start of these component panels. That one did not function how we were expecting it to. But just having this first step of, okay, well, here's this panel, and we may need to thin down how thick the panel is, but it's like, yeah, I can walk up to this housing, it lists cooler 01, I can pop that open, boom, there's my cooler. Same on the other side, here's my other cooler. So, right when the ship comes out, it won't all be fully interactive to the point where, okay, now you're physically ripping that cooler out or you're doing the manual repair work. But it's that groundwork for when we get to that point. So it's really cool to see. And he's got like all the core components. So over here, these sort of got passed by a bit quicker in the update video. But you've got your life support, your jump drive, radar, and the exceptionally glowy power plant. The exceptionally glowy power plant.
One of the things folks pointed out in the ShipShape section segment is that the interaction system, the prompts now align with the surface of the of the item.
Yes, that really was cool. a recent thing, and also this is just how bright that thing is on the inside. Like you see it everywhere.
I turn the lights back on.
All right.
Scared of the dark. There you go.
Yeah.
Right, so what are you doing? You're working on the chair probably, right?
Yeah. So I've been working on the just getting the pilot seat and the support seat set up. So give me a quick second. I'll just jump in the pilot seat. We're still getting a couple timing things cleaned up. One of the cool things with this ship is it's like a lot of the design process is intelligent reuse of assets. So if some of this animation looks similar, it's actually because we're using the Constellation piloting co-pilot seat sort of as our template to build this stuff out. So it's that same kind of, okay, seat will turn, you'll jump in, it turns you back around. The timings are a little bit off, but we've got, all the great screens lining this thing. When it's fully lit up, it's really cool. And so getting that going, and then basically going to be working to get this support seat going. So the remote radar and scanning station, where we sort of got the end goal of, you'll drop down this, and then you'll be, turning around inside on this pivot. With the scanner up top, sort of dialing in on your target. So it's going to be really cool.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Obviously, this was more than I hoped for. So
Oh, yeah. Happy to help.
all right, man. I'll let you get back to work.
All right.
Cool. Take it easy.
Yep. Bye.
All right. Well, thank you, Matt Sherman, the Terrapin man. Falling in love with that thing. Okay, so up next here, we have a a bit of a problem here. Snowpocalypse has hit our Manchester studio, and the questions we had lined up for today, and the guests we had lined up for today, work in our Manchester studio, and they unfortunately are not able. Many of them are not able to actually get to the office the moment they are working from home. Not all of them have webcam setups at home. Not all of them have proper audio setups at home. So some folks had to type their answers out and give them to me. So for our next question, we are going to do a little bit of readers theater here. We went to Stephen Tuberfield from our Manchester studio. His question was, on the ship Matrix, it appears the Freelancer DUR lost 62% of the cargo space that it used to have, instead of only 25% less cargo than the base model previously listed. Why was that? Is that for a ground vehicle, like all the expedition ships have? All right, so he's trying to like, social engineer us a little bit and be like, hey, is there a new ground vehicle on the DUR or something like that? You know, that thing that sitcoms do, like, oh yeah, you said, you know, whatever. No, the Freelancer DUR does not have a new exploration vehicle or anything added to it. Steve's answer was simply that the values listed on the ship matrix for the Freelancer DUR, the MISS, and the MAX variants are all based on the existing model, the pre-rework model that's available in hangars now. You remember that those variant models were built out as hangar ready quite some time ago. They are not using the scaled value of the much bigger reworked base model for the Freelancer. Basically, we went through and we measured the models that we have. When it comes, which is why it appears to have less cargo now, so much less cargo now than the base model. When it comes time to build out the DUR, the MAX, and the MISS, which you can see on our public roadmap is scheduled for the latter half of this year, we will have the improved cargo numbers for the Freelancer variant. So yeah, so basically what you're seeing right now is the actual measurements of the model that's in the hangar right now, which is why they're so much smaller. When it comes time to build them out, you'll get the better, bigger, badder numbers. Okay, so thank you, of course, to Steve Tuberfield for the answer. Our next call is to the illustrious Sean Tracy.
Hey, Jared, what's up? You know, it's busy, man. What's going on?
Hey, Sean.
What's up?
Calling all devs. Remember that thing that I told you about?
Oh!
Call you?
We're on video.
Yes, is this a good time?
Yeah, for you, it's always a good time.
All right, what's on the screen behind you?
Actually, for community, it's always a good time. The screen behind me, this is Forrest Steph in the screen. We've been doing a bunch of work this week with graphics programmers on massive improvements to the skin shader, which I know people are pretty happy with the faces right now, but we weren't. So we're pushing them further and further and further.
All right, well,
it's looking pretty damn good. So
I'll get clearance to show that after this.
They'll see it soon. I hope it's not an actor that we haven't announced.
Well,
no,
if people are watching this, then I got permission. So
they'll figure out who it is. Cool.
So your question, I understand that you might not be the perfect person for this. We're going to try to call Eddie Hildebrandt from in our UK studio, but they are under Snowmageddon at the moment. So I figured you're my best shot for people who are available. Congratulations. Will there be underground caves, tunnels, or underground cities in Star Citizen? Yeah, no.
I'm just kidding. I can't say yes or no right now. So I'm going to give kind of a sort of a roundabout answer on that. Like the most important thing for us and for the next little while is to get all our a little more standard biomes set up. So you know we've got deserts, we've got sort of toxic ones, we've got to set up, we've got timber that we have to set up, we've got a bunch of different ones, and we've got enough area kind of to cover without even delving into caves and things like this. We've already got enough content that we need to add to these biomes. Before we yet sort of move on to that, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be something that we're going to look into. But as of right this moment, I can't say yes or no whether we're going to have those. But of course, if time allows and we get to the place where with our biomes and on the surface itself is acceptable to us, then yeah, that would be something to look at. There's of course, as with any of my answers, it always goes a little bit longer. But there's other ways to accomplish this rather than, fully voxelizing terrain and making this fully dynamic, because we can place points of interest very similar to how the outposts get placed. If we wanted to go the route of, we've actually modeled this sort of, into the side of a hill or whatever, then that's not beyond the realm of possibility. So if, design ever comes up with a need for that, or a given landing zone needs that, then that might make sense. But as of right now, I can't say either way, but it's definitely something we want to look into, I'm sure.
All right. Well, thank you.
You're welcome,
That
man.
pretty much did it. Is that Star Fox art behind you?
That is Star Fox art. Very, very well. Now, I'm not sure if you can see it, but there's the low poly ships. It's funny because I just remind myself by looking at them. They're really literally like 10 to 50 triangles. So
Yeah.
just lets you know. But yeah.
All right, man. We'll let you go. All
All right.
right. Thank you.
Talk to you later, Jen. Bye bye.
And last but certainly not least, we are going back north of the wall, as he said in our previous Calling All Devs, with Benoit BEAUSEJOUR. Oh man, I had it. Benoit, how you doing, man?
Hey man, I'm doing good.
Benoit BEAUSEJOur.
Yeah, you have it.
I think I had it, and I thought I
You
didn't have
did.
it, but
You
okay.
had it. It was perfect.
Okay. I'm good. I'm good for a lot of things. Pronouncing
Yeah.
people's names.
Next time it's finesse, more finesse.
Yeah.
Right? We'll have it.
I wasn't even going to try. I was going to get myself into more trouble. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good.
So I got another question for Calling All Devs for you. You ready?
Okay. Yeah.
Your question from the backers, submitted by the backers, voted on by the backers. What is the status of the Star Citizen mobile app that Turbulent is working on, and what features are still planned for 2018? Now, there's a little bit of a misnomer there, a little bit of misinformation there.
Sure.
We've never planned the mobile app to come out in 2018, right? Let's get
That's
that
right.
out of the way. Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
And so if I'm to try to answer the question as truthfully as possible, like you mentioned, like a Star Citizen mobile app, as mentioned, is not planned for 2018, unfortunately, because we still have a lot of work to do to get to something that's acceptable. There are also a lot of things left to define on the, game side, what services we're going to be made available through that. That doesn't mean we're not working on improving the mobile experience for Spectrum, which is a very important piece of work that we're currently recircling back on. And so this means better responsive support on mobiles. Specifically, we're looking at shrinking the size of our build, which is still pretty large, and so loading it on an older iPhone, it's gonna suck. We've done some work in 2017 on the mobile keyboards, which turned out to be a huge can of worms. Huge can of worms. You have no idea. And so at least now it's potent. We're keeping a lot of effort in trying to improve that. But most of the mobile related work for 2018 is focused around improving the mobile Spectrum support.
Gotcha. Now, of course, the Star Citizen mobile app was one of our old crowdfunding stretch goals.
Correct.
Way back in early days. So that is definitely something that is on our list. Is definitely something that will be developed at some point in our future.
But we want that to have some gameplay interaction and not just be a social app.
Yeah.
And so
yeah,
there's more to that.
All right. So yeah, that's all I got for you, Benoit.
That's pretty cool, man. That was a tough one, but it's a good one. I mean, you didn't ask me about voice, so that's good.
Well, what about voice? What about voice over IP, Benoit? What about voice over IP?
Okay, so we're working on voice over IP, and it's a lot of work, and we're
working on it.
We are totally working on it. I can tell you that. So the main focus on voice over IP work currently is on how the game communicates with the launcher right? That's that's where we're at. Of course, there's server-side stuff happening and APIs, lobby creation, stuff like that, and voice transmission. But the bulk of the effort right now on, at this date is really on how we exchange data and the API between the game and the launcher, which is key to getting all of this working.
Gotcha. Are you having an earthquake now, or are you just hitting your desk a lot and bouncing your camera?
I'm hitting my desk a lot.
Calling all devs, the best production value of any Star Citizen internet video. Absolutely. All right. So thank you, Benoit. Thank you for that. Good luck reversing the waterfall, as we were talking about before. You have your work cut out for you, but I have no doubt that you'll get it done.
That's right.
All
Thank you very much for calling.
All right. Bye.
See you guys. Bye.
Well, that about wraps up this week's show. A special thanks to Sean TRACY and Rob Reininger and Steve TUBERFIELD and Matt Sherman and Benoit BEAUSEJOUR for appearing on the show this week. Remember, you can submit your questions for consideration each and every week up in the thread, up on Spectrum, and don't forget to vote. That's the important two-pronged plan. You got to submit your questions, you got to vote on your questions. That way I know which ones you want to see addressed most each and every week. So for Citizens of the Stars, no, that's the wrong show. For Calling All Devs, this has been a day, guys. Trust me, it's been a day. I'm Content Manager for Global Video Production, Jared Huckabee. We'll see you next week, everybody.
Thanks for watching. For the latest and greatest in Star Citizen and Squadron 42, you can subscribe to our channel, or you can check out some of the other shows, and you can also head to our website at www.robertsspaceindustries.com. Thank you very much for watching.